Hi everybody, today's lesson is from Unit 1.2. It's our first lesson, so this is notes number 1. And today we'll be talking about transformations. A transformation moves or changes a figure in some way to produce a new figure. So when we think of a transformation, it's some kind of change. We could be shifting the picture to the left, to the right, up, down. Later we're going to learn how to rotate figures, how to do a reflection of a figure, and then how to do something called a dilation of a figure. When we perform a transformation, the original figure is called the pre-image, that's your input, and the new figure is called the image, that's your output. If, when you perform a transformation, the pre-image and the image are exactly the same, meaning they're congruent, then we have what's called an isometry. We'll talk more about that later on. In our first example, we see line segment AB, and that's our original figure or the pre-image, and then we see line segment A prime, B prime, which is the result of the transformation and is what we call the image of line AB. When you see that little mark after the letter A, it's called a tilde, or we can say a tick mark. We say that A prime is how we would read that. So if we think about this transformation going from point A to point A prime, we go to the right one and then up one. So our transformation would be right one, up one. So really what's happening is that we're adding 1 to the x value, we're adding 1 to the y value. So this is our rule for this one. Would you say that these two segments are congruent? In other words, is AB, line segment AB, congruent to line segment A prime, B prime? It sure looks like they're congruent. So this particular transformation is an isometry. A transformation is also called a mapping, which is a correspondence between two sets of points. Each point of the pre-image, that's what you're starting with, is mapped to a point in the image. This is the result or the output. So pre-image, again, is your input, what you start with. The image is your output. That's the result of the transformation. So number 1, it says we're given line segment CD on the graph. We want to shift the figure to the right 3 units and down 4 units. So I'm going to start with point C, which has coordinates of -4, 1, and we want to see what point this is mapped to. And it's going to be the point C prime. Sorry about that. So let's follow the rule. So put your pencil point on C, and then we're just simply going to count to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, and then down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this means that C prime is going to be down here on the graph, and C prime, it looks like it has coordinates -1, -3. Okay, so put a little point there for C prime. Make sure you use the prime notation to show that this is the image or the output. Now check it out. Our rule said that we had to shift the figure to the right 3 units. Going to the right 3 means that we're going along the x-axis. So we're adding 3 to the x value. And check out your coordinates. Remember that we always write points x, y. So if we take -4 and we add 3, we do get -1. So that's exactly what happened. Do the same thing with your y. Okay, the y value changes because we're going down 4 units. So if we're going down 4 units on the y-axis, we want to be subtracting 4 from the y value. So check that out. 1 minus 4 will lead us to that -3. Again, 1 subtracting 4 equals -3. Okay, do the same thing with point D. So put your pencil point on point D, and then we want to follow the rule, which says we need to go to the right 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this means that D prime is now going to be located right here, and it has coordinates, and it looks like they are +2, -1. Alright, connect the dots to make your new line segment, and notice that those two line segments are indeed congruent. Okay, triangle A prime, B prime, C prime is pictured to the right. It says find the pre-image if A prime, B prime, C prime was created by shifting the triangles 2 units to the left and 3 units up. Okay, so this should be a little B prime right here, and the little prime symbol for A shifted. So that's A prime, B prime, C prime. All right, remember that this is the output. This is the result, okay, of the transformation. So we have to find the original. We have to find the input. In triangle ABC, which means we have to do the opposite. Okay, so we're trying to get back to what the original was. So since it says that A prime, B prime, C prime was created by shifting the triangle 2 units to the left, we have to do the opposite. We have to go 2 to the right. Okay, and it also says it was created by going 3 units up. We have to go 3 units down. So again, in this case, we're given the end result, and we have to work backwards to find the original. So we're working backwards. Okay, so take any point, and I'll start with point C prime, and we want to go 2 to the right. So 1, 2, and then 3 down. 1, 2, 3. So my original point C would be right here. So C would have coordinates 2, -4. Okay. Now we can check this by applying the rule mentioned in that opening paragraph and see if we end up at C prime. So going from C, we want to check it and see if we end up with C prime. So it says we want 2 units to the left, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3 units up, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and our coordinates for C prime would be 0, -1. Okay, we're going to do this with point B prime as well. So again, we're going to work in reverse. So put your pencil point where B prime is. Okay, and we want to do the opposite of what was mentioned here. We're working backwards. So go 2 to the right, 1, 2, and 3 down, 1, 2, 3. So B would be at the point 1, 0. And just double check it, see if you can get back to B prime by following the rule mentioned in the paragraph. So 2 units to the left. So start at B, 2 units to the left, 3 units up, 1, 2, 3. So it works. All right, and our coordinates for B prime were -1 and +3. Okay, finally our last point, we have A prime, and it is at -3, 0. And we want to find out the input value that would get us to A prime. So again, we're working in reverse. So from A prime, put your pencil point there. We want to go 2 units to the right, 1, 2, and then 3 down, 1, 2, 3. So this would be A prime, A right here. And A has the coordinates of -1, -3. Okay, connect your dots to make your triangle. Okay, and again, we should check it by using the rule mentioned in this paragraph right here. Okay, so 2 units to the left, 3 units up. So going backwards from point A, making sure we get to A prime. So 2 units to the left, 1, 2, 3 units up, 1, 2, 3. It checks out. Okay, now it's your turn to try. And it says in this problem, you're given the image, that's the original, shift the figure 2 units left and 5 units down. Label the image using prime notation, like A prime, B prime, C prime, and list your coordinates below. Pause the video for now, give it a try, come back to see the solution. Okay, let's see how you did. If you take a look at my picture, my image is labeled A prime, B prime, C prime. I did the best I could with the stylus. It's kind of hard to make those lines straight and neat, but you can see I've listed the coordinates right below the problem. So A prime should be at -3, 0. B prime should be at -4, -2. And C prime should be at +1, -2. All right, let's try one more. Okay, in number 4, our last example together, we have to graph the image and its pre-image. Okay, the image is the result of a transformation. The pre-image is what you would start with. Okay, that's your input. Again, the image is the output or the end result. So this is one where, again, we have to work backwards. The first thing I'm going to do is graph the image or the output by plotting the points that are given to me for A prime, B prime, and C prime. So A prime is at -3, -2. So from the origin, go to the left 3 and then down 2. There's A prime. B prime is at 1, -2. So from the origin, go to the right 1 and down 2. C prime is at -4, -3. So left 3, down 3. And finally, D prime is at 0, -3. So from the origin, you don't go left or right at all, just go down to -3. And that should be D prime. Okay, finally, connect all 4 of your points to make a quadrilateral. Okay, so it says that this result, this image, was created by a shift of 2 units right and 3 units up. So we want to reverse this. We want to go 2 to the left and 3 down. Again, we do the opposite to work backwards and find the pre-image. So I'm going to do this in red. So I'm going to start with A prime, and we're going to work backwards to find the coordinates for A. So from point A, put your pencil point on A prime, we want to go to the left, so 1, 2, and then 3 down, 1, 2, 3. And that's where A would be. And A has the coordinates of -5, -5. Okay, and just double check it. If we go from A and we go 2 units to the right, 1, 2, 3 units up, 1, 2, 3, we would end up at A prime. Okay, pick another point. I'm just going to go in order, so I'm going to go to point B prime, and again work backwards to find the point B. So we're undoing the rule here, we're reversing it. So we want to go 2 to the left from this point, 1, 2, and then 3 down, 1, 2, 3. So that'll be the coordinates for point B, and point B is at -1, -5. Okay, I'm going to come back to C. Again, I'm going to reverse what the rule was. So I want to go 2 units to the left, 1, 2, and 3 units down, 1, 2, 3. So C would be right there at -6, -6. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and connect some of these points. You see the shape coming together. Finally, our last point, we're starting at D prime. And again, we're reversing the rule that we were given. So we want to go 2 units to the left, 1, 2, 3 units down, 1, 2, 3. So point D has coordinates -2, -6. So connect the dots to finish off your quadrilateral. Okay, out next, you're going to give the CYU, the Check Your Understanding, a try. That's the pink sheet. And once you get that finished, please check your answers with the answer key before going on to homework number 1. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.